Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us for part two of our two-part CONNECTpreneur rocket pitch. Today is the second day. If you missed yesterday, not to worry. We'll be sending a recap email to all of you, which will include the names and websites of all of our presenting companies from yesterday and today, along with the contact info for management. And if management provided us a Calendly link so you can set up direct conversations with them. But I want to thank you guys for joining us. This event is our 97th CONNECTpreneur event overall over the last 12 years. It's our 45th virtual rocket pitch. And we've had over the last 12 years, 1,100 presenting companies, and half of them have received funding from investors that they met through our platform. And our investor network now totals over 4,000 accredited and qualified purchaser private investors, angels, and family offices who are interested in investing in some of the awesome deals that they can meet through our community and through our events. Hopefully you've had a chance to download the program book for today. We've got information on yesterday's and today's presenters. We have 4 presenters today. Our team is going to post the link to our program book in the chat box. A couple of notes about today. We have 4 presenting companies. And the reason we split it into 2 is if we were having 10 or 12 presenters, it would just take too long, and we want to respect your time and also help you avoid Zoom fatigue. So we split it into 2 sessions. So today's session will be quick. We'll have 4 presenters, 4 minutes each. Then we're going to roll right into breakout rooms. Half an hour. You'll have a chance to go in and out of whatever breakout room you'd like. Each of the breakout rooms is hosted by one of our 4 presenters. So if you have any questions or need more information, you can, or want to set up an appointment, you can do that in the breakout room. We have a chat box here. You can feel free to introduce yourself. Please limit your posting to 2 or 3 times. We don't want to overload the chat. Our presenters will be probably posting links to their executive summary and deck, perhaps, and their Calendly links right into the chat box. So keep an eye for that. And then before you go into the breakout rooms, please be sure to download the chat transcript so you can read it after the event. You might miss something if there's a lot of traffic in there. We're going to do some polling today. We're going to have 2 polls for our sponsors. So if you're interested in learning more information about our sponsors, please do indicate as such, and we'll pass those along to our sponsors. And we also have 2 investor polls after the second presenter and after the last presenter. So absolutely feel free to indicate if you're an investor, your interest level in our presenting companies, and it's confidential. We're not going to publish any information. We will pass along your information to our presenters so that they can follow up with you. A couple other things about CONNECTpreneur. We have an awesome YouTube channel. I think we have over 600 videos of prior presenter alumni on there, so you can subscribe. We also have a free Slack channel with over 4,000 business leaders on it, and you can go on there and engage. Doesn't cost anything. We're going to post the links to both the Slack channel and the YouTube channel into the chat so you can subscribe if you want. And then a couple of program notes on upcoming events. We have 2 in-person events coming up. The morning of November 8th, we'll be at the Johns Hopkins Carey School of Business in Baltimore. Beautiful building downtown. And on the evening of December 18th, we'll have a holiday party and pitch event in Tyson's Corner. We have links for both. We are in early bird or super early bird with both. And as you guys may or may not know, it's the best tech and investor networking on the East Coast. And we have some great presenting companies that will be presenting. And if you're interested in presenting or sponsoring, let Skylar know. Skylar's our community manager, and she's on this call. She's one of our co-hosts. We also have a couple of virtual events that we're going to do. We're going to continue doing these monthly rocket pitches. So we have one in November, and we'll be posting those links. And then finally, 2 of our partners are hosting events in the next week. Tomorrow, the Asian American Chamber of Commerce is hosting their 14th annual full-day business summit. It'll be at the KPMG offices in Tyson's Corner, Virginia. You can go to asian-americanchamber.org if you're interested in learning more or signing up. And then George Mason University on November 1st and 2nd, that's next week, they're hosting their 3rd annual 2-day Accelerate Investor Conference. And that will be in both Arlington, Virginia, as well as downtown Washington, D.C. And the website for that is acceleratedeals.org. So yeah, please check those out. They're very good events. I'll be at both, and several of our community members will be at both. All right, so we can put up our first investor poll right now, Sky, if you don't mind. This is poll for our awesome sponsors who make things happen. When we went to the pandemic, we started doing free events, and our sponsors stuck with us. So if you're interested in any of their potential services, we will put you in touch with them. We'll keep these confidential, but we have legal services.
Tian said first investor poll, but it's actually our first sponsor poll. So this is for everyone to answer.
Oh, thank you, Sky.
Not just investors. Yeah, no problem.
Gotcha. So this is a sponsor poll, right? And this is for anyone interested in legal services or accounting and tax services. Prince William County, Virginia is our latest and greatest sponsor. So if anyone's interested in learning more about some of the economic incentives that they have, insurance, wealth management. If you are interested in having us do a custom private event for you, investor event, let us know. If you want to join our ambassador program, become an ambassador, that would be great. If you want to sponsor or be a presenter at one of our in-person or virtual events, that would be awesome. I do want to shout out Refraction, which is the leading co-working space in the DC metropolitan area. I'm broadcasting from Refraction. We actually have a CONNECTpreneur lounge here at Refraction. And if you are in town visiting, or if you are based in Maryland or DC and you're out in Northern Virginia, you can come and use the space up to 3 times a month for free. So thank you to Esther Lee, who's the CEO of Refraction. You can learn more about Refraction at info@refraction.one, info@refraction.one. Okay, I think we can thank you guys for participating in the poll. We will end that, and we'll get started with the program. So I'd like to introduce longtime CONNECTpreneur partner, my good friend, business partner, Mark Haas. Mark will introduce he'll introduce all 4 presenters today. Mark is CEO and co-founder of AEG, which is the leading alliance of elite service providers in the DC, Baltimore, and Tampa, Florida markets. Members include some of the leading business professionals in the Washington, DC, Northern Virginia, Baltimore, and Tampa markets. And I'm personally proud to be an investor and chairman of AEG. Mark is also in fundraise mode. So Mark, if you want, you can share your information or talk a little bit about what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate your support and help over the years. So welcome, and thank you.
Thanks, Tian, and thanks, Sky, for putting everything together here. It delivers it every couple of weeks. So AEG was built to sort of strengthen and make more resilient the mid-market economies and the regions in which we operate. We are a network/ecosystem of business advisors and CEOs affiliated with economic development and chambers of commerce as well. So we really provide all the services that a company needs to actually build, value, and grow, and eventually exit. So we're building in these 3 cities, and if you are an elite advisor in any of a range of disciplines, legal, financial, technology, governance, whatever, or a CEO of a 20 million plus company, we'd love to talk to you. And if you're an investor, we are halfway through our investor round, and I'll put some information in the chat. But let's get started with our presenters today. We have really 4 excellent companies, terrific ideas, well executed. Our first is Martha Sklavos of Allo Therapeutics. We all think about cancer treatment as a very difficult and challenging, where the body is flooded with chemicals, and it's very hard to get to the tumor without doing some damage elsewhere. But Allo's developed a technology to actually, like taking a moth to a porch light, to identify where the tumor is, deliver it to the site, and provide treatment at that site much more effectively with less damage. So Martha, why don't you tell us about what Allo has developed?
Thanks so much, Mark. So at Allo Therapeutics, our goal is to inflame the tumor and induce better outcomes for patients with hard-to-treat solid tumors. Collectively, our team and advisors have over 200 years of experience in research and end-to-end drug development, and we are focused on a key problem. And that is that there are few treatments for the deadliest solid tumors. Checkpoint immunotherapy is the most prolific solid tumor therapy of the last decade. It's approved in half of all solid tumor types and only has a response rate of around 20%. However, it's still expected to capture $148 billion of market share by 2030. Let me contextualize the efficacy in an example. Assuming there are 100 million patients globally with solid tumors, about half of those patients, or 50 million people, are eligible for checkpoint immunotherapy, though only 10 million patients, or 20%, achieve a clinical response rate. That means that we're leaving 90% of solid tumor patients behind, or 90 million patients in this example. This is a gap in the market and an opportunity in this space where combination therapy is the key. Only tumors that have high numbers of immune cells are eligible for checkpoint immunotherapy. We call these tumors hot tumors. However, cold tumors that have low numbers of immune cells are not eligible for checkpoint immunotherapy, have poor survival rates, and limited therapies available to them. Think of pancreatic cancer and ovarian cancer. Our goal at Allo Therapeutics is to turn cold tumors hot and hot tumors hotter to increase efficacy and results for patients with solid tumors. Our solution is to inflame the tumor with our lead therapy, alloimmunotherapy. Our therapy is implanted directly at the site of the tumor and serves as bait with our unique mechanism of action to induce transplant rejection at that site, which will increase tumor immunity and ripen the tumors for combination therapy, and ultimately increase efficacy, durability, and patient eligibility to have additional therapies for these patients. Allo Therapeutics has achieved preclinical proof of concept efficacy and safety studies in animal models, and we have filed full patents in adult and pediatric indications. Looking at the competitive landscape, competitors are also potential partners. We fall in the class of alloimmunotherapy. So our key competitors in this space include oncolytic virus, immune agonists, and cancer vaccines. However, to date, none of those therapies have shown significant efficacy or improvement when partnered with checkpoint immunotherapy in solid tumors. We see competitors as potential partners, and localized delivery of our therapy enables AIM combos with assets from all categories. We will position AIM as a combination partner of choice. We are targeting 2026 to start our first in human phase 1 clinical trial in advanced solid tumors. Move 2 years on, we will perform combination trials with AIM and checkpoint immunotherapy. At this point, we will be attractive to partner with pharma. And if we fast forward 7 years, in 2035, we have the potential at top sales to reach $100 billion per year in sales. And that's just in partnering with checkpoint immunotherapy and is not including the upside of combinations with other therapies. All we ask is $5 million in 2 years to deliver an IND filing to the FDA and start a phase 1 clinical trial. If you'd like to join us on our mission, please get in touch.
Thanks, Martha. Our next presenter is Chris Gardner, VP of Finance for ClearComm Technology. Certainly, delivery of healthcare in equitable and effective manners really requires clear communication between the patient and the provider for the whole process through accessing healthcare, diagnostics, treatment, and support. This is especially challenging for those patients which have compromised hearing or limited English proficiency. So ClearComm Technology has developed the mechanism to actually accelerate and clarify that communication between patients and providers. Chris?
Thank you, Mark. ClearComm Technology enhances the quality of communication for patients with hearing loss or limited English proficiency in healthcare settings. There are over 100 million people in the US with hearing disabilities or limited English proficiency. Healthcare providers must accommodate these patients, but existing solutions have limited capability, are difficult to use, and are very expensive. As a result, ADA compliance for hearing loss is estimated to be less than 5%. We've developed a fully integrated solution that combines a custom case with built-in hearing loop, which is the gold standard for broadcasting audio signals directly to hearing aids, with a suite of software-based services, including real-time closed captioning, translation, and transcription, among other things. Our solution can be installed on healthcare providers' existing devices, which limits the upfront capital cost to healthcare providers. How does our solution work? So the first step is to identify if a patient has hearing loss or limited English proficiency. This can be done through conversation or maybe apparent from looking at the patient's medical record. Next, healthcare staff deliver the device to the patient. The device can be secured to an IV stand, placed on a table, or held by the patient. It depends on the preference of the patient and the specific situation. Next, healthcare staff scans the patient's wristband or manually enters the patient ID, at which point the patient can select the desired functionality, whether it be closed captioning or translation, etc. Upon discharge, a transcript of all conversations with medical staff during the patient's visit will be securely uploaded to the patient's electronic medical record. Afterwards, the patient and approved family members can access the transcript from a secure portal to review important information provided by doctors and nurses, including discharge instructions, diagnoses, etc. Key medical terms are hyperlinked in the transcript for reference and further education. Based on nearly 2 billion hospital and physician office visits in the US annually, we're targeting an addressable market of nearly $6 billion. Now, there are a number of competitors in the space, but their technologies have limited capability, are not patient-focused, and do not target the healthcare industry. Our solution is designed with the patient's needs in mind, fully addresses challenges associated with hearing loss and limited English proficiency, and delivers tremendous value to both patients and healthcare providers. Our solution is patent pending, and we have established partnerships and have pilots planned with 5 leading hospital systems in the US, including the Hospital for Special Surgeries, Hackensack Meridian, Hunterdon Health, Lehigh Valley Health Network, and Inspira Health. Our team is highly experienced in the healthcare and technology industries, has founded and exited numerous successful ventures, and is poised to scale ClearComm and take it to the next level. ClearComm is a subscription model with average pricing of $160 per month per device. In 2022, we generated over $700,000 of revenue and are on track to do over $1 million in 2023. By 2027, we expect to generate upwards of $23 million in revenue. To date, we've raised $550,000 from founders and friends and family, and are looking to raise an additional $1 million to accelerate growth. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the breakout rooms.
Awesome. Thank you. Great job. Let's put up our first investor poll. This is for investors only. So we only had our first 2 companies. We have 2 more companies to go. We had Alla Therapeutics and now ClearComm Technology. So this is confidential. We'll only share your information with the presenting company so that they can follow up and set a more comprehensive deep dive meeting. As a reminder to everybody, we are going to be opening up for breakout rooms in about 10 minutes after we're done with our 3rd and 4th presenting companies. We will do a poll and then go into breakout rooms. And then in the breakout room, you can go deeper. As a reminder, when you do go to the breakout rooms, download your chat transcript ahead of time so that you have it and you can read it afterwards. So we still see poll results coming in. Last call for investors. I'll keep it open maybe another 10 seconds, Sky. And thank you guys for participating. Okay, I guess we can end the poll. Turn it back over to Mark, who will introduce our final 2 presenters. Mark.
Okay. Since the first person dropped a line in the water 40,000 years ago to try to catch a fish, they've been asking the same question. Where are the fish? Where do I go? Who do I ask to find a good places? So now we've got a couple 100 million recreational anglers. They're asking the same question. So I'd like to introduce Tron from Fish Buddy, and he's going to tell us an awesome technology they've developed that'll help answer that question.
Thank you, Mark. You've probably held a rod in your hand in your life. Some of you more than others. Recreational fishing is one of the most popular activities all over the world. 500 million people were fishing last year, 54 million in the United States all alone. If considering fishing one day as an amateur or eager fisherman, wouldn't you be interested in getting advice from the best fishermen around? Together with the best and most experienced anglers with the knowledge of what to catch where, we have done just that, giving you the perfect guide. This is a revolution. Now you can bring the best guide with you in your pocket. When approaching the water, you will find different spots and areas that has the best anglers have made for you in the app, using advanced maps, information about weather, seasonal changes, salinity, access to food, combined with thousands of hours of experience and advanced tech. This is where they would try based on their knowledge. Where to catch what and how, with tip and tricks and important information about the species. This service became an instant success. People love it. And what happens if you catch a fish? Take a picture of the catch, like our friend did the other day in Norwegian, but you probably get it. And we will give you the species, length, weight, location, and other essential open data. Using proprietary AR and AI technology, we first and foremost give a unique service to people fishing. But with this picture, we also collect crucial data for life below water. Unique, patented technology. So why is this information important? First and foremost, because along the coastline of the world, there's free fishing. People don't report when they don't have to. We see a massive change of fish stocks. Governmental organizations use huge resources to monitor what they and universities call the last data gap of the oceans. There are more than 15,000 protecting areas along the coastline of the world, all closed and monitored by service and test fishing, or even without proper data, expensive and inaccurate. With FishBuddy, we provide this valid data wherever we are in use. This new tech is why the Coast Guard approached us this spring. Now we are developing tech for all their vessels financed by Innovation Norway, white label that any Coast Guard in the world will need. And do people like what we do? Well, here it is, 600,000 active users in Scandinavia and Germany, hardly without any marketing at all. ARR last year, $320,000, more than 4.5 of 5 stars on App Stores and Google Play. Top of the list every summer since we launched. We are representing something totally new. First of all, we are the best guide for people fishing with lots of users, but with revolutionary tech and lots of valid data. We have a responsibility for life below water, sustainability development goal number 14. Our team consists of Asgeir and Trond, considered the best in their field, mathematics and fishing. We are also partnering with Cornell University on big data. And myself, I've started and exited companies in the outdoor business repeatedly. What about the competitors like Fishbrain and others? They are mostly social sharing and crowdsourcing, not knowledge-based. Their social media platform are great, but we are a tech and knowledge-based solution that beats everyone on just that. And what would you prefer? We're cash positive every summer, but with our new tech, we will see a massive growth. If USA reacts like Norwegians, the income from people fishing in US alone will be net $25 million a year. We're seeking funds to launch in the US, to expand in Europe, and to collect data, as well as provide the Coast Guard all over the world with AI and AR tech. And then hopefully I will see you in the breakout room. Thank you very much.
Our last presenter is Andrew Feldman, is the CEO of NextGen Forensic Sciences. So in the 20 years since we've sequenced the human genome, technology has developed somewhat quickly, but there still is a problem with the cost and the high signal-to-noise ratio in measuring the gene technology and the markers. So NextGen has developed technology to make it more available and at far lower cost. So Andrew, tell us what you got.
So I'm very excited to introduce you to quantum PCR. It's DNA forensic technology we developed for the special forces to catch bad guys and identify people. But it actually has a very promising future in precision medicine. So the big problem is when you amplify DNA, you make a lot of errors. So we've solved this by developing a tool which doesn't amplify DNA together, but it does it in one molecule at a time in individual droplets. The result is we get an error-free sequence, and in many cases can lower the sequencing costs by 90%. And we have 2 patents pending on the method. So we're looking at 3 vertical markets in precision medicine. One is in traumatic brain injury management, the other in clinical diagnostics, and the other in pharmaceutical research. They're all very big. Our initial market segment in the brain trauma is $8 billion, and it's predictive biomarkers for TBI. Right now, there are very few of those, and there are no companies in this space. And we plan on entering that space in the next month. In clinical diagnostics, we have a good capability to screen for cancers that are inherited before you know you have them. And in pharma research, we're focusing on a $200 million market to detect transplant failures. So our business model is to get revenue through licensing and profit sharing with commercial lab partners. We don't want to reinvent infrastructure that's already there. These people are already touching customers in their space. So what NextGen would do is supply the analytics, the consumables, and instruments in some cases, and the labs perform the accredited testing, invoice the customers, and then market that novel capability. So we've already stood this up in the brain trauma vertical. We're working with a lab called Helix Pathology in Houston, Texas. We're expecting $2 million in revenue through them through 2024, and our product has a very high profit margin, over 700%. Our traction in these other lanes are primarily through grants and federal contracts. And I'm speaking to you today because we have products in development there that I'd like to get clinically verified while we stand up this brain trauma product commercially. So our valuation growth plan is to start with partnering with single labs. Ultimately, we will want to sell these products to multiple labs, which requires FDA approval. And then the goal is to be acquired by a diagnostic technology provider such as Roche or Thermo Fisher. We're expecting to grow to approximately $30 million in revenue by 2027. Initial revenue will be focused in the traumatic brain injury space. We're a spin out of Harvard University and Johns Hopkins. Our team has over 150 years experience, 70 plus patents, 28 startups, and 4 exits in our portfolio. And we've got key advisors in each one of the verticals we're addressing. So there's competition, not in the traumatic brain injury, which is why we're starting there and think we'll be successful. In the clinical diagnostics for cancer, there's some big boys in there. However, our technology yields very high performance for low cost. And for the cancer screening applications we're focusing on, we have a very good shot at getting the insurers to reimburse for population surveillance, which is an expensive proposition, but we think we can do it. We've raised approximately $1.1 million to date. We're asking for about $300,000, again, to clinically verify products that are in development, and we're looking to do it now. So looking forward to talking to interested parties in our breakout sessions, and thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Andrew. Let's put up our second and final investor poll. This is for our third and fourth presenters today. This is for investors only. We will keep these confidential and only share the information with the presenting companies. Right after this, we will go to breakout rooms. So you'll be free to go in and out of whichever of the 4 breakout rooms you'd like. Each one is hosted by one of our presenting companies. So also want to remind you to download the chat history transcript before you go into the breakout rooms, and then make you aware of our 2 in-person events, November 8th in the morning in Baltimore, and December 18th in the evening. That's our holiday event in Tysons Corner, Virginia. And we have our monthly virtual rocket pitch in November and December. All that info should be in the chat history, so you can click on the links and register if you'd like. Still see some investor interest coming in, so please, last call for anyone. any investors. So great. Well, Sky, I guess we can end that one, and we'll go ahead and open up the breakout rooms momentarily. Let's see. I think we're good. Okay, we're going to open up the breakout rooms again. Download the chat transcript. After the breakout rooms, we'll give you a 2-minute or 3-minute warning before we close the breakout rooms. Should be open for about a half an hour, and then we'll come back to the main event. But you can just drop off if you want, and we will see you either in person or virtually next month. Thank you, guys.